Hi, and welcome to my presentation of Holistic Benevolence, Empowering our LGBTQ Youth. This is my personal counseling philosophy presented for HS 113 Motivational Interviewing on November 30th, 2025. Before taking this motivational interviewing class, I believed that individual counseling meant helping clients change by offering guidance and direction. I now recognize that a counselor role isn't to dictate change, but to evoke it, advocating empowerment over advice. This is my philosophy today. Authentic growth only happens when clients are honest with themselves and supported without judgment, correction, or coercion. Motivational interviewing deepened my understanding that the counselor is not the driver. We are the mirror, the anchor, and the collaborator. One-on-one counseling offers a safe space for clients to explore identity, emotions, and internal conflicts without fear or judgment. The one-on-one relationship gives LGBTQ and neurodivergent youth the freedom, autonomy, affirmation, and emotional safety that they are rarely granted elsewhere. Individual counseling works well with gender-affirming care. This is where it is key that an individual is receiving both and that their care providers are able to work in tandem. Counseling partnered with gender-affirming care has been proven to be effective, with 60% lower odds of moderate to severe depression and 73% lower odds of suicidal tendencies over a 12-month follow-up period. This is according to Tordoff in 2022. Individual counseling is exceptional at helping individuals identify and target specific issues, such as trauma, childhood abuse, and substance disorders. It can fall short when an individual lacks family, social networks, or community systems. Individual counseling is not able to fill these gaps. However, a counselor may be able to provide resources to connect the individual to their specific needs. This is according to SAMHSA 2015, CAP 21. Some of the real tangible benefits that a client may experience are some of the foundational building blocks of motivational interviewing. These include, but are not limited to, autonomy, emotional safety, personalized support, and internal motivation. Because of the power of evoking change from within, the client experiences improved long-term outcomes. However, if counseling is done poorly or imposed on someone who is not ready, the client may become dependent on the counselor, or a power imbalance may develop. If there is a misalignment of therapeutic models, invalidating or identity correcting approaches are ineffective and potentially harmful. In my experience, they increase shame, self doubt, and distress rather than promote healing. The NADAC Code of Ethics in 2016 states that we are to conduct ourselves with integrity and not to discriminate against anyone for any reason. Principle 3 reminds us that our responsibility is to provide ethical care, respect, affirmation, and cultural humility in our professional and personal lives. A therapeutic relationship works when the counselor is genuine, showing unconditional positive regard for the client. The evoking change tactics of the motivational interviewing approach emphasize collaboration over correction. Instead of telling clients what to do, we evoke their own wisdom, voice, and readiness for change. The trauma-informed care approach works well here in helping the client with autonomy, choice, and self-directed change. I believe the trauma-informed care approach is vital in gaining trust built through consistency, transparency, and cultural humility. These factors create a safe environment that allow clients to fully engage, facilitating meaningful and lasting change. Motivational interviewing adaptations do not challenge the therapeutic relationship here, as stated in this course's text. Motivational interviewing is not an approach to be used instead of other forms of helping. Rather, motivational interviewing is a way of doing what else you do, a way of helping with those you seek to serve, and it is grounded in a view of some fundamentals of a helping relationship, according to Miller and Rolnick, 2023, page 5. The client is responsible for actively participating in their treatment. They are also responsible for their own openness and honesty, and their willingness to bring concerns and goals to the table. My responsibilities as an emerging therapist include empathy, support, always striving to better provide guidance without coercion, advocate for my clients, and conduct myself in an ethical manner at all times. At its core, the counseling space is a shared responsibility. Clients bring their voice, their readiness, and their hopes for the future, while counselors bring safety, structure, and support. Real progress happens when accountability and autonomy are balanced, when clients feel ownership of their growth, and counselors hold space without control. This partnership is especially essential when working with LGBTQ youth who have often learned that authority means correction. Our job is to ensure that authority becomes collaboration instead. Counselors and therapists always need to be empathetic towards their clients, yet set healthy boundaries. I like to say, don't be a doormat, be a stepping stone. We must also be sensitive to their sociocultural sphere and their trauma. Success in therapy requires reciprocity. Both client and counselor must be willing to communicate honestly, navigate rupture and repair, and tolerate vulnerability long enough for growth to occur. When both sides are able to regulate emotions, maintain respect, and remain invested in the work, the therapeutic process becomes not only effective, but transformative. My theoretical orientation is an incorporation of therapeutic models better suited to the LGBTQ youth, approaching their challenges in a benevolent, empowering manner that encourages them to embody the change that comes from within. These incorporated orientations include dialectic behavioral therapy, motivational interviewing, trauma-informed care approach, Gestalt therapy, and Adlerian therapy. In dialectic behavioral therapy, we learn that chronically suicidal patients have been raised in profoundly invalidating environments. That's from Linehan in 2015. The trauma-informed care approach and the motivational interviewing approach helps us understand the trauma from the client's perspective, giving us the ability to meet the client where they're at in life. I believe this is key in establishing the client-counselor relationship. Gestalt therapy, on the other hand, focuses more on understanding how one behaves and less on explaining why the behavior occurs. One of the key elements to this is bringing any concerns from the past to the forefront and experiencing them head on. Many of the past concerns challenged by Gestalt therapy are unfinished business, such as suppressed rage, hatred, resentment, grief, shame, or abandonment left over from other areas of one's life. Many of these concerns resonate deeply within the LGBTQ community, especially in the older neurodivergent and LGBTQ young adults. Adlerian therapy understands behavior in its unity or pattern. I find this holistic approach to be best suited to help identify younger clients who appear to be on the spectrum but are not self-identifying. On this last slide, you'll find my references for all of the citations and all of the work that I've done. I want to thank my professors, Dr. Diminkata and Dr. Jones, for being so supportive and teaching me so much information this semester. I really enjoyed it. I want to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Have a great day.